Come on, Facebook. You can do it. Come on, Facebook. Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and delighted to be here with you on this beautiful Wednesday morning with our guest, Nancy Juetten. And this is your Nancy doubleheader today. So you get to have a stereo of Nancy's. And today we're going to be chatting with our guest about um, basically bye boring bio, how to turn your bio into something that magnetically attracts clients, speaking opportunities, and also highlights your absolute brilliance. So I'll be bringing on our guest in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I want to share Women's Prosperity Network dates and announcements. So first of all, this Saturday, we have our monthly mastermind called Brilliance Brainstorming and Breakthroughs. And this is our signature event that we have been bringing our community together to experience since 2008. So, this formula where we have a topic that we then group share about and then mastermind and have breakout sessions to go even deeper on has proven to be one of the bonds that brings us together and allows us all to grow. And this month's topic is on the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I'm reminded back when we started Women's Prosperity Network and we had chapters all over, and now we have people all over the world that come together for this experience. One of our intentions in doing so and having this focused mastermind topic was imagine the vibrational and ripple effect of all these extraordinary women coming together to raise their level of consciousness, to raise their compassion and understanding, and improve their communication skills as we have these topics that are designed to make a bigger positive impact in the world. So come this Saturday and be part of this change that is being created by all of you choosing to live from the Four Agreements and then bring it into your families and your communities. It's a beautiful thing. So you can get information on all of our upcoming events at womensprosperitynetwork.com. And every week we bring you someone extraordinary here to support you in growing and expanding your business, your life. And today we have Nancy Juetten. So hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. It's great to be here.
It is wonderful to have you here. And let me share a little bit about Nancy, and then we're going to go into today's topic about transforming a boring bio into a client and opportunity attracting magnet. And since 2009, Bye Bye Boring Bio, the 2020 workbook, author and Get Paid mentor and speaker, Nancy Juetten has upgraded bios for speakers, experts, individuals in corporate, and authors who once struggled to broadcast their brilliance on paper or online. As a result, they attract
No,
gigs. Uh-oh, we got
no.
no. Yes. Let me go ahead and fix that. I don't know how that.
Sorry.
Apologies, my friend.
I would say yes.
I know, no, yes, absolutely. That was pretty funny. Anyway, she is the expert at transforming your bios into these lead attraction magnets. Welcome, Nancy Juetten.
Thank you.
Let's jump in.
Great to be here. And thank you, Peg, for the wonderful comment in the chat. Love that.
Yes. So for everyone who may be with us today experiencing Nancy for the very first time, I had the opportunity to connect with her 3 or 4 years ago. We were part of the same community with the Soul affiliate, Soul Leadership Metamind and Retreat. We got to know each other, and Deborah Morrison, who's here with us today, has worked with her, and I saw what she was able to do for not only Deborah, but for so many people in pulling out the essence of your brilliance and this giftedness that you have of hearing someone, listening to them, seeing who they are, and then just transforming the words that convey who they are, is a gift. I've not seen anyone have the way that you do.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
It comes from a really important wound, really. As a kid growing up, I had narcissistic parents. And
Mhm.
so I sort of faded into the wallpaper just to navigate the household. And I remember thinking, um, to be seen, heard, and celebrated for who you are and what you do is like the greatest thing ever. And if it's denied you, it's a pain that really does hurt. And
Mhm.
so for me to turn this greatest pain that I had into a gift I could give to others, it's really something I've been destined to do since I joined the planet. And it's very validating to see how people can see themselves in a new light, because I always quip that you can't see the label when you're in the jar. We're
That's
all
right.
whoever we are, but writing about ourselves and positioning ourselves so that other people will be called to listen, that's not something that most of us were born to do. And so I think there's help available for those who are interested in it.
Well, and it's interesting too because not only is it not something we were born to do, there's so much messaging about, and I know I had this when I was growing up, don't brag, stop tooting your own horn. Who do you think you are? And it's taking me a long time to get to the place where I feel comfortable and confident saying, I'm Nancy freaking Matthews. That's who I am. Like it wasn't always that way. So
I was talking to someone yesterday who had won Woman of the Year, who had spoken on really big stages, who had accomplished magnificent accolades, but she wasn't someone who was going to pound her chest and declare boldly that she was all of these things, because she felt like it was too much about her and not enough about the impact that she's here to make. And so just by listening to that, I said, not one to not one to call attention to her own accomplishments. She'll admit humbly that she's accomplished magnificent things, but only for the purpose of making a bigger impact. And
so you're listening in right now, my friends, right? Do you hear this brilliance that just pours out? That was so perfect and so beautiful. And we all do have it, gifts and talents and accomplishments, and all here for the purpose of making a difference in the lives of others. That's who this community is. So, all right. So, how do I take with 20 years in corporate experience and a single mother of two, like, how do I make that different and unique as I am? And this is, I ask in this sense for the purpose of everybody listening to shift.
well, what I what I like to invite people to do is to, we think, oh, I've got to write a 50-word bio and I'm all nervous about finding the right 50 words or the right 100 words. And if you do a little pre-work before you get there, you're going to be in much better shape. So what you might answer is a few questions, and you might want to take notes. What is your philosophy about doing this work? For me, I believe that everyone deserves to be seen, heard, celebrated, and ultimately compensated for their winning ways. If you have a statement of philosophy about why you do this work, that can be the anchor that brings people in. My husband is a financial advisor, and he helps people make sure that they have enough money to love their lives when they're no longer working. And his philosophy, or a statement of what he believes or what clients have told him, is clients hire me for my head and trust me for my heart.
Ooh, that's really good.
Is there one statement, like an umbrella statement, that you can put in front of the whole shebang that will let people have an emotional reaction. Because as we know, people buy with emotion and they justify with logic. So where's the heart of the matter for you? So answer that question. And then
Can
another question,
I use
and
your husbands? Like, that's so good. People trust me, hire me for my head and trust me for my heart. Like, that's beautiful.
it is, the guy's got the heart of a giraffe. I mean,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, well, I've been married to him for 37 years, so I guess I kind of overachieved in the husband department.
Good for
But
you.
so the next question is, when did you know that this work was the work you were destined to do?
Mm,
Because that gets to the purpose that you have and why you're driven to do it. What is your role? What is your title? Uh, what's your handle? Podcast guesting success expert, Nancy Juetten. Like, okay, that tells you who I am. And then, like, who are your people? Who are your people? Are they messengers? Are they authors, speakers, coaches? Are they change makers? Are they women 40 and better who want to release their muffin top in time for the graduation or the reunion or whatever?
hmm.
Um, and then you want to ask yourself, what are the stunning results that you bring about for your people that make you the most proud? And what lights you up about this work? It seems like we're talking a lot about you, the royal you, but when you get to the heart of the matter of what these answers will reveal, in today's day and age, you have Chat GPT to help you quickly turn this into gold. And so if you answer these questions and you get to the heart of the matter, you can go to Chat GPT and say something like, I'd like to introduce you to my client, Nancy Matthews. These are some of the things that I know about her. Do you understand? And Chat GPT will acknowledge. And then you could say, knowing what we know about Nancy Matthews, can you prepare a 100-word bio in the third person that showcases what's special, different, and preferred about her so that her ideal clients will be compelled to get in touch?
Wow.
And then you hit enter and you watch the magic happen. Then that's where it gets interesting. And
So, just so you know, everyone, you want to go back and listen to this and type up the questions, answer the questions, open up your Chat GPT and stick in this prompt. Uh, I, I hope you all get the power of what Nancy just gave you.
well, and on a practical basis, I've been writing bios for people since 2008, thousands and thousands and thousands of bios. And so I know people struggle writing about themselves. They feel braggadocious. They feel uncomfortable. They feel every kind of mindset head trash that there is comes up.
Mhm.
And so going back to, so let's release all that and decide we want to like free ourselves from some of that. I mean, why suffer a moment longer, right? But when you go back to ChatGPT and they bring you back this superlative laden bio that makes you sound like a rock star, you may say to yourself, too many superlatives. I'm not comfortable. The the power of using Chat GPT is in the iteration that you allow it to release for you. So just yesterday, one of the bios came back with so many superlatives that the person that was being written about was deeply uncomfortable. And she says to me, yeah, but there's so many superlatives. And I said, I totally agree. And isn't it funny that I was thinking the same thing because I already asked Chat GPT, lots of superlatives there. Can you dial it down and be more plain spoken?
Okay,
And
wait, that's the actual language you use
yes,
inside of Chat GPT?
yep,
Like, this is like a conversation.
I am having a conversation with Chat GPT as if Chat GPT is the most important co-collaborator on my desk. And you often talk about the one philosophy and how you treat people. You treat everybody as if they are the one that could open the door for brilliance to unfold in all kinds of ways. How you do anything is how you do everything. So
Hmm.
when I'm talking to Chat GPT, I'm not, there's this expression, garbage in, garbage out. You put some stuff in, you hope that something comes back. Well, that's not a way to nurture a relationship. So I say, hey, good morning, ChatGPT. I've got a new client that I'm looking to showcase in a winning way. Are you ready to get to work? She says, yes, bring it on. I talk to ChatGPT like she's the one. And when answers come back, I say, thank you, great job. Can we dial it in a little bit more this way? Sure, happy to help. I have this conversation with ChatGPT, and if you've never tried talking to ChatGPT in this way, it's game changer, believe
Yeah.
me.
It's a beautiful thing, and it also is, allowing you to be in a more familiar place, which allows you to develop more of a conversational tone to for the input for your prompts. If you think you're talking to a robot, you're going to talk like a robot, and that's not going to get you the output that you're looking for. So it's a beautiful two-way collaboration, as you say.
So I agree. And so if you answer these questions and then you get specific about what you're hoping to accomplish, you can ask ChatGPT for 100 words, 50 words. And
Mhm.
since we're talking about word count, sometimes people get so caught up in all the things that they've done over the decades that their bios are long and windy roads leading to all different kinds of places. And I just want you to know that your 50 and 100 word bios written in the third person are going to be the most powerfully useful tools in the shed for all the things that you get to do as you speak up on podcasts, get invited to speak up on Wow Wednesday, get invited to be on a summit, get invited to speak on someone's live stage. Most people are never going to read your manifesto of everything you've ever done in your life. So brevity is beautiful and it's also very powerful.
And what I see people struggle with is, I have done so many things. How do I know what's important to include and what should I leave out? And like, how do we do all of that? Do you have some suggestions?
Of course, relevance and congruence are a couple of big words that count for a lot. I'll tell a story. Um, I believe that people need to be seen, heard, celebrated, and compensated for their winning ways. But there is a story that happened in my life that brought that alive for me. I'll tell it very quickly. As I mentioned, my parents were narcissists and I felt pretty invisible in my household. And way back in the day, there was this commercial on TV. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Do you remember this?
That? Yeah, I do.
And on a boring July afternoon, I sat on the front porch and figured it out. And I wrote a letter to the president of the Tootsie Pop Corporation and told him, I know how many licks it takes. I figured it out today and it's this many. Um, there you have it. And then a few weeks later, I got this beautiful gilded certificate in the mail and it said, very few people on earth know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. And this certificate belongs to one of the few who do.
Wow.
I'm 9 years old, but here's why this was a seminal moment in my life. I picked up a pen, I wrote a letter, and someone of influence wrote me back. And I felt important for the very first time. And I knew at that moment that I was going to be using words on paper or words in general to make other people feel important. And it was like a bell that rang at 9 years old where I knew what I was supposed to be doing with the rest of my life. Now, I have all kinds of credentials and I've been around the block a few times. And if you Google my name, you'll find all kinds of powerful proof. But I bet your bottom dollar, you're going to remember that Tootsie Pop story more than anything else that you read, because it lets you know that this path that I'm on is something I've been destined to do and gifted to do, and that I've been riding that horse all the way to the roses all these many decades later. So a powerful story that lets people know that this is the thing you're supposed to do, don't discount it, because people will remember it. And then regarding the relevance and congruence issue, if it's not relevant to what you're doing now, leave it out.
Mhm. Yeah. And congruent with who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. Those are the pieces of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Powerful, powerful stuff. So, and to that, one of the things that I often suggest people do is write down all of the stories, the events, all of these, experiences that you've been through where you've learned some lesson or overcame some adversity. Like, just jot them all down, and then we can work through them to share those stories at different times. So, for example, I don't think I've heard that um, story about the popsicle before. I think that's my first time hearing it, and I
Well, and you
will.
know what? It's on the back of my book. It says here, an
Yeah.
action taker and results maker since she was 9 years old, Nancy wrote a letter to the president of the Tootsie Pop Corporation to reveal how many licks it took. She sent it after watching a TV commercial. Weeks later, she earned her certificate and then felt important for the first time. That's when she knew that using words to see, hear, and celebrate others would be her path in life. These little stories, it's like, that is not the typical thing. The typical thing is she graduated from whatever university and worked for 20 years doing this, that, and the other thing. And boring, boilerplate, blah, blah, blah. You, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
graduated from college in, I don't know, what year was it? Nobody ever asks me what year I graduated from college or what university, but they want to know the magic that I can bring and how it will help them solve a problem. And
And
that's the
how did you come up with it? Right.
And
Yeah.
so for everybody who's here, what is the big problem that you solve? What is the transformation that you affect for your best clients?
Mhm.
How many lives have you touched and transformed since you hung out your shingle? And is your best work still ahead? That's a really nice little way to frame it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so much going on, and I know we're going to have lots and lots of questions in a few minutes, and I'm excited about that. I have a question, and then we'll open up and let everybody know how they can continue working on their bios through you and with you. My question is, as we're working on putting our bios together, and maybe even doing this with Chat GPT, how do we distinguish a bio that's going to be on a website as opposed to an introduction if we're being interviewed? Or should they be different or should they be the same?
One size bio does not suit all situations. If you go to the one size fits all rack at the local discount store, you will have clothes on your back, but you will be not likely be sexy, svelte, and spectacular. So to answer your question, if you're being introduced to an audience, the speaker introduction should let the audience know the wow that's waiting for them at your expertise, so that they could be sitting on the edge of their seat thinking, I'm so excited that I get to hear from Nancy Matthews today. If you've got a website, your bio should probably be a client attracting bio, one that says, we work with these kinds of people who solve these kinds of problems. So to solve these kinds of problems, and this is what qualifies us to meet the need. If you want to be booked on a podcast, it's got to be, what are you going to be wanting to talk about that's going to be compelling and relevant to what this show is about, so that we can have a juicy conversation. So anyone who's said, oh, I've got my bio written, I'm done, I'm a box checker, is the bio that you've written relevant for the situation? Because sometimes people have first person bios on their websites, which makes sense. But a first person bio on a summit is a real aggravation for the summit host, because the summit host, who has 18 or 20 speakers to introduce, doesn't want to have to transpose the first person to the third person on the fly when she's got all these other things that she has to worry about.
Yeah. This is a beautiful segue into how to be a great podcast guest speaker on my stage. And so I have been irritated by those things. I mean, and then it takes my time, or you send me a headshot that's not the size that I asked for, or you send me a bio that's 300 words. Now I'm going to chop it up. And you may not like the way I chop it up, but I had to chop it. Like, so speak to being a great podcast guest, because I know that's another area where you support people powerfully.
Well, I heard Darren LaCroix, one of the world's greatest speakers, according to Toastmasters, that you should all aim to be the favorite of the host that you are serving. And that means that when the host says, I need a 100-word bio, I need a headshot in these dimensions, I need your 5 interview questions that you most like to be asked, and I need a call to action so that we're clear about what it is we want the viewer or the listener to do, that you supply exactly what it is that's requested. If the host says, I have an interview form that I need you to fill out ahead of time, don't delegate this to your assistant or phone it in. Take that opportunity to fill out the form thoughtfully, because that is the guidepost that helps the host present you well. And if you don't give them the right information, they're in a position where they have to wing it. And that doesn't serve you well. It doesn't serve your mission. It doesn't serve the show.
Right. Yeah.
I've had people say to me, oh, I don't have time to fill out forms. If you don't have time to fill out forms, maybe podcast guesting isn't for you. But do you know how much competition there is for podcast guest spots? The beautiful thing, and this is a ninja strategy or ninja tip. When you fill out the form and there's the anything else you want to add, that's where you want to say, I listened to episode number 68 today, and boy, oh boy, Nancy Matthews, you knocked it out of the park. I really loved what you talked about with regard to the one philosophy, and I look forward to elaborating on that on the show today. And then you can also say, when this episode is live, I can't wait to repurpose and share it with everyone I know so that lots of eyes and ears can see it to our mutual benefit. But when you have that box there that says anything more that you want to add, there's huge opportunity in there for you to distinguish yourself from every other blah, 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 boring and boilerplate guest, so that they see instantaneously that how you do everything is how you do everything, and you're the guest they can't wait to host.
So good. Huge ninja strategy. And what I heard in what you added there was how you were being the one for this podcast host. We
Yes.
all, right. You want to think about what does the host want? Yeah, I know you want to get on the show and you want to get access to their audience, but what did they want, and how can you be the one to provide that? That's going
Amen.
to stand out. So
Amen. You know, the neat thing about dealing with influential podcast hosts is they have influential audiences that they have carefully and painstakingly curated.
Mhm.
And so when you get to speak up on their platform, you get to talk to all their people, which accelerates your opportunity to attract leads, clients, connections, and cash. But the thing that's the most valuable of all is the relationship you get to establish with that host, because the greatest compliment that you can receive is to have such a great conversation that the host says, Nancy Matthews, you are amazing. Will you please come back next week? Or Nancy Matthews, you are so amazing. There's 5 other hosts that I'm friendly with, and I can't wait to introduce you. This is a relationship strategy in addition to a visibility strategy. So make sure that you see it for what it is in all its glory as you embark on it.
So good. All right, my friend. Time flies. I know that we could continue in this way probably for a few hours. And just, Nancy and I are cooking up a special workshop. So it was just an idea that hatched yesterday. So we'll talk more about that at another time. So stay tuned. And we want to give all of you the opportunity to ask some questions, share some ahas maybe that you had today. And I bet you would all love to get more of Nancy's brilliance on Bye Bye Boring Bio. And there's a very special way that you can access her book. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, thank you. Um, in 2022, sadly, I had breast cancer. It was probably the most confronting experience of my life. But the good news was that I got some support to navigate that journey from an organization called the Fourth Angel Peer-to-Peer Mentoring Program. It was started by Scott Hamilton, the Olympic champion skater, who was also a cancer thriver. And he said he had his doctors, he had his nurses, he had his family, and he had his friends. But what he missed was having a mentor who was also a cancer thriver to help him navigate his journey to recovery. So when I was going through my experience, I got matched with a mentor, and she was like the lifeline I needed to navigate treatment, diagnosis, recovery, mindset, everything. And it was completely free to me. And so when I recovered gladly and victoriously and so gratefully, I decided to bake cause-related marketing into my business model. And I wanted to anchor it to an expertise that I'm well known for and could be of service to so many. So if you would like to have access to my very popular Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook that has been the magic carpet that I've written since 2008 to become known in this way, I'm inviting you to make a $27 donation to the peer-to-peer mentoring program at the Cleveland Clinic, and you will receive the Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook, the digital version, as a thank you. So far, almost $5,000 have been raised for this cause, went $27 at a time. And so there's a link in the chat that you can go to access this powerful resource and give to a cause that is so useful to cancer thrivers all around the world. And there's a little ninja strategy underneath this that I think is also important to highlight. And that is, there are freebie seekers everywhere downloading free gifts that sometimes go to the freebie graveyard, never to be seen, heard, or participated in. But my Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook is a brilliant resource, even if I do say so myself. But those who get it for a $27 donation, they're going to read it. They're going to participate in it. They're going to get the value in it. And if there's more that they want in terms of support, well, they know that my heart is in this work. And if I can do more work with y'all, I'll happily do it and we can do business, and that would be great. But if you've ever had a cancer situation, you know that you don't know how many days ahead you have. I love working with action takers who are ready to run to the roses to get to the victory. If you're one of those merry-go-round people that never gets around to doing anything, I'm not your gal.
Very
so,
true.
so anyway, I hope that you're inspired to say bye-bye to your boring body, give to a cause that can be so helpful to so many people. So thank you so much.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful in every way, just like you, my friend. So go to the link is in the chat, both here on Zoom and on Facebook. For those of you on the phone, grab a pen and you want to go to getknown.com/brilliant bio WPN. And does it have to be capital B for brilliant and capital B for bio?
I think
Is
it
it
does.
sensitive? Okay, so case sensitive. So getknown.com/brilliant bio WPN. So the B's are going to be capitalized and WPN is all capitalized. And again, the link is in the chat. You can, if you're on your phone, go back to Nancy Matthews Facebook page, personal Facebook page, and you'll see the stream there. I'll make sure the link is there as well. Let's open up for some questions and comments. So Peg Duchesne is in the house with her hand raised. So if you're with us here on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll bring you on the screen. If you are with us on the telephone, hit *6 and that'll unmute yourself. And I'll bring you on just as soon as I can. If you happen to be with us on Facebook and have a question, put it in the comment section and I will bring it to Nancy. So Peg Duchesne, first up.
Thank you so much, Nancy Juetten. Thanks for getting up so early this morning to be with us. Love, love, love you. And I have a quick question. The copy I have of Bye Bye Boring Bio, which I said I love, love, and use several times a week as I'm serving my clients in creating their messaging, it says 2020. When I went into the website, it doesn't say that. Are there updates, and should I invest in another copy? What would you recommend?
The 2020 version is the most recent version.
Great.
And I did that in 2020 because there was a pandemic that made live stages and everything else go blank. And so I completely revised the copy, the whole version, to be relevant for virtual speakers worldwide. And so it's still as relevant today as it was when I finished it in 2020.
Wonderful. Well, like I said, I use it all the time. It has Post-it notes all over it, and I don't want to have to transfer all those to a new copy or something. So thank you. And I love, love, love your book, and I love you. So thanks. I can't wait for the collaborative project the two Nancys are going to do together.
I know, right? It'll be so good. I love it. All right, great. And Laura Barker, I love it. She says, this is the set I got the second copy. I ordered it today, and that's because the $27 is going to the mentoring program. So Laura, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good, so good. And everybody listening in, even if you got here after we started, go back and rewind, because Nancy shared some questions to ask yourself. Are those questions in the book as well?
They are.
Okay, beautiful. But the magic was a prompt to put into Chat GPT to have them write your bio. You know, that's really about giving you a third person perspective. So it's beautiful.
I have one more thing to add about that. Just for fun, when you go into Chat GPT, say, here's a little bit of information about me. Won't you please write a bland, boring, and boilerplate bio, 50 words or less, so that, won't you please do that for me right now? And when sometimes you'll get back to yourself, you'll say, it'll say something like, Nancy Juetten is a jack of all trades who does a whole bunch of things reasonably well. She's been at it a long time, and has tried a whole bunch of different things. Like, it's so, one of the things that I've dealt with is so many boring bios, but I thought, oh, let's ask Chat GPT. You don't know what a boring one is until it's written about you. So ask Chat GPT to write a boring, benign, and unremarkable bio about you, and then you'll get the wake-up call and you will feel it. And you'll go, oh my God, I sound so generic. I got to do better.
All right, there's a courageous challenge for us all to take, to really face ourselves in that way. And I'm going to do it. So I can't wait to get in there. Oh, so good.
And you notice I'm having fun with this because some people approach this with dread.
Yeah.
Have a lightness of being, have a beginner's mind, and just trust that something awesome is going to unfold.
Yeah, I love it. So good. And again, the link is getknowngetpaid.com/brilliant bio WPN. And you're going to need to do capital B for both brilliant and bio, and all caps for WPN. Let me next go to calling in today, the fabulous Camille. Hello, my friend.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited that I get the opportunity, because usually I'm not able to connect because I'm always driving, which I'm driving now because I'm picking up food. But I wanted to say, Nancy, thank you so much. Miss Matthew, thank you so much. This is amazing. And the first thing that you remind me of, being 9 years old, licking that lollipop, and I hated it. The taste was nasty. So, and I'm like, she was 9 years old. I was 9 years old when I first get the opportunity to try it, because I couldn't afford it. But when I did try it, I didn't like it. and you got awarded for trying something that's gross, and that's what makes you who you are right now. You take a lick and keep on kicking. I love it. Thank you so much. And I will be getting the bye-bye bio, okay? I love it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
You're
Camille.
amazing.
Wow.
Camille, the other thing I would love for you to take away from this session today is
Yes, ma'am.
is the strategy that Nancy is using to give her share her brilliance by charging $27, and it goes to the nonprofit. Did you pick up on, oh, we could be doing
Yes,
this?
ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
I-
I
I'm
did.
just checking. I'm just checking. You know me.
I know. Always thinking of how to make it happen. Yes, ma'am. I did.
All
I
right,
couldn't
good.
write it down, but I'm going to go back and rewind, and I'm going to listen again so I can get it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Blessings to you, and you are a blessing to so many. So thank you, fabulous Camille.
Thank you.
She's amazing. All right, beautiful. Again, go to getknowngetpaid.com/brilliant bio WPN. Let's open up for Mary Jane Charles.
Good morning, Nancy's Incorporated. Great to see you, Nancy. I'm so glad to have you right in front of me. We chat back and forth sometimes. So I don't know if you know, but I started a podcast, Caregiving for Caregivers. And it's still in semi-launch. It's one of those rocket shots that goes up and then goes kaplop. And then, but it's coming. It's being groomed, and I'm back at it. Bottom line, I also have a workbook from when I wrote my books. So I will work on how to combine the two. And blah, 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 blah. Writing notes to people. I wondered if you would entertain. We don't need an answer one way or the other, but I think Princess Catherine would love to hear from you.
Oh.
Anyway, that's what I had to say. So, yay, I'm glad to see you. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Mary Jane brought her heart and spirit in full force today. So thank you for your kind words, for Nancy, and for your spirit, and for doing the work that you're doing, and being committed to this podcast and getting the messages out there. It's not easy, and you're just going through. You're not saying no. You just keep moving. So I honor you, Mary Jane.
Well, and I have something to add for Mary Jane. Caregiving is such important work, and it's such lonely work. And when you start a podcast about it, the beautiful thing about it is that by the topic you've chosen, you're going to attract people who are interested in having that conversation, and they're going to be listening in. I think that the lonely thing for anyone who's suffering an illness of any type is that you get these emojis and these crazy little, disingenuous comments on Facebook that do nothing. When someone says, oh, you've got this, say you've revealed that you've got some issue or some problem, and says, you've got this, you've got what it takes to pull through. I just want to throw tomatoes at people that do that. How can you say that to someone who's suffering from something really dire? So if you feel strongly about helping people be better caregivers, then start that podcast, have conversations with world-class experts, have conversations with people who have successfully navigated that journey, and be in the dialogue about it, because it can be a great saving grace for people who are isolated and alone, just trying to keep it together. It's not easy stuff.
No. Beautiful. So thank you, Mary Jane, for what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So much. And I was, well, it's an aside, I'll talk about it another day. Let me go to our next call. Let's go to Pastor Darlene. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, and I feel like it is such an appropriate next person because Mary Jane and I share the same wonderful challenge that we've been gifted with. I am a caregiver for my husband, and I am the caregiver's co-mentor who helps the caregivers to prioritize their time, be able to know when to say no, create those boundaries, and to always and also look for the future. And I wanted to say to you, Nancy, well, first, Nancy Matthews, thank you for doing this. As I always want to appreciate you for your work here in WPN. And Nancy Juetten, thank you for what you share with us today. I need to do the rewind and do the Chat GPT and do that, the boring one, and try that one out. And just wanted to say, as a caregiver myself, Mary Jane, just so you know, the two of us are going to collaborate and work together on some things, because I hear your heart, and I know that there are so many people that need what we have. But Nancy, when you told us to toot our own horn and not stand in the shadows, I know that for a long time I was guilty of that. So I want to say thank you for giving us the right and the privilege and the honor to do just that, and know that it's not wrong, but it's absolutely necessary, because we've been created, and we were created to help somebody else. And how will anyone else know that we exist if we don't tell them? So I want to tell you, thank you for the work that you're doing. And I'm going to get my book to also support the mentoring program that you're doing, because it is so needed, so necessary. And I'm very excited for what is coming in the very near future for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored. My goodness.
Yeah, what a right? So beautiful. And thank you, Pastor Darlene. That gave me a little bit more information about you and what you do. So thank you for sharing so
Oh, you're welcome.
That's really good. Yeah, just to remind everyone, you can grab the book by going to getknowngetpaid.com/brilliant bio WPN. Let's go ahead to our next caller. And I'm not sure if you want to speak or not. The phone number is 720-934. Did you want to ask a question or provide a comment?
Yes, Nancy, this is Anna Brooks in Colorado. How are you today?
Anna, really good.
I want to thank you, first of all, on WPN for these Wow Wednesdays. There's just great snapshots into different kinds of opportunities. And Nancy, I will be accessing the Bye Bye Boring Bio. I think that's excellent work. And I'm happy to support the Angel Project. I'm hoping that there's more information on that, because I have two good friends that are going through this process right now. And I'd love to be able to get that kind of support for them. I'm always happy to get excited about how people get the word out. I grew up in a dysfunctional household, and I learned to do what I should and keep my mouth shut. And it took many, many years for me to get up in front of people. And once I figured out why, I started speaking up. But to talk about myself, to write a bio, is a very emotional thing for me. Tooting my own horn was not what I was taught to do. So I'm really looking forward to this Bye Bye Boring. Thank you so much. And WPN, you're amazing. Keep those Wow Wednesdays.
That's a beautiful comment. And I wanted to add something, if I may. Sometimes we change as we grow. The thing you were doing even last year isn't the thing you're doing anymore. And so one of the things I would say is, just like you change the battery in your smoke detector every quarter to make sure the house doesn't burn down, every quarter, look at your bio with a fresh perspective and ask yourself, is this still who I'm serving? Is this still what I'm doing? Is this still the mission I'm fighting for? Have there been new accomplishments and accolades that I've accomplished or achieved or welcomed since I wrote this last time? And is there any updating that needs to be done? Because this isn't just a once and done thing. We're all living, breathing, evolving creatures. And you may have reinvented yourself dramatically, and the words you wrote about yourself may no longer be current. So make sure you're up to date and reflective of what your current mission and objective are, and you'll be in good shape.
Really good. And
Thank
you know,
you. And WPN was magical in changing how I viewed myself, how I monetize what I do. And I'm so thankful. And I have a great network of women that I can reach out to look over my bio and give me some feedback. So great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being with us, Anna. And the other thing that the last comment you just said goes back to relevance and congruence, right? You want to look at your bio, and this is, I often tell people to take a look at your ideal client avatar, you know, and at the minimum on a yearly basis, because you might be serving the same audience, but they might be going through different things, or what's happening in the world or the economy or society. Things change. So that's why we always want to come and look at it with a fresh approach to stay relevant. Yeah, really, really good. Love it. All right. I think we'll have time for one or two more questions. Tracy or Yami, did you want to ask or add something?
Oh, I didn't mean to unmute, but I just want to say this was fascinating. Thank you so much, Nancy, both Nancys, for this segment today. It was absolutely incredible, and I look forward to getting the workbook as well.
Oh, beautiful. That makes me happy.
Yay. Glad you were with us today, Tracy. And all right, last caller will be Evie's Ramirez.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for this wonderful Wednesday. Wow, Wednesday, and thank you both. I just wanted to say and ask a question. I missed, I think that the first 10 minutes or so, but I did what you recommend, Nancy, ask Chat GPT with my bio, and to be honest, I wasn't thrilled with that. So can you tell me what words can be key to put to really have one that is fresh and unique, like you mentioned?
Thank you for your question. We did cover that in the first few minutes, so you might want to check out the replay.
Oh, I do that. I will do that.
Because there's that would probably be the best thing to do. And I want to just comment, I don't know if April Heath is here, but she actually went to Chat GPT to get her bio created just today. And it says, April Heath is a licensed massage therapist since 2009, making her seasoned tension tamer who empowers clients to feel their dazzling best. She specializes in serving busy professionals who face daily stress but have limited time. She takes pride in helping clients find peace in their bodies, empowering them to tackle the challenges of their day with renewed energy and vitality. And I think this is a good start. But one of the things I would comment on is that the first sentence is all about her and how long she's been doing it. And it's so much more powerful when you talk to your ideal client first. And you could say something like, busy professionals who face daily stress. I think there's more than facing daily stress with busy professionals who need hands to heal their anxiety and muscle pain. Turn to April Heath to feel better fast. Since 2009, she's touched and transformed thousands of formerly frazzled and aggravated and agitated professionals to be calm, at ease, and productive and happy. But it's really nice if you can talk about how many lives you've touched and transformed, because it instantly conveys credibility. If you just hung out your shingle yesterday and you've only done this for your mother and your sister, that's not the same thing as if you have touched and transformed hundreds or thousands of lives who were once in so much pain that they couldn't function, and now they are in flow, producing great results and feeling good in their own skin and in their own bodies. So there's probably a little bit more work to do there.
Absolute gold, gold, gold. And she's like, oh my God, thousands. Thank you. And April, if you would unmute yourself, that would be awesome. I don't know if you're able to or not, because I believe I also remember you saying that you're in the process of creating some kind of other business or center. Or April, are you doing something along those lines?
Hi, I don't know if I can talk. I'm so blown away at that. Thank you so much. Yes.
So
That makes me happy. That makes me happy, April.
I love it. That was good. So April, aren't you creating some other type of business besides being a massage therapist?
I opened my own private massage studio. So that's step one towards the goal of a full-scale spa and wellness center.
Beautiful.
What do you call it? Life threw me a curveball and I swung. So I'm swinging.
Okay, and so the only reason I remember you being on a Wow Wednesday and us talking about something along these lines, and I just want you to keep in mind that as your business changes, kind of what we were talking about a few minutes ago, you'll want to answer the questions that Nancy gave us from the perspective of this other vision and mission you have, instead of just as a hands-on massage therapist.
Right, because I don't want to continue just as a hands-on massage therapist. I definitely want to build a spa.
Right. So answer those questions with that vision and mission in mind. Like, why do you want to create this spa? What, all of those pieces.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds like you want to create a haven for health and wellness where many hands are doing light and transformational work.
Absolutely.
Nice. She gave you more gifts.
See, this is my thing. This is my thing. I am able to read a few words and understand at some visceral level that there's something underneath it that could be turned into a phrase that will be beautiful and, have an impact. I don't know how I come about it, but listen, I have a done for you media one sheet service. I do work for people, if that was a doubt for anybody.
Yeah.
Get the book. You'll decide if there's more work to be done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Nancy Juetten, thank you for being in our life, in our community, for the value that you continue to pour out. I appreciate you greatly, my friend.
Well, I'm very honored to be here, and such a delight and a thrill to get to talk to so many of you today this early morning.
Yes. And thank you for waking up early to serve us today. I'm sure your day is going to continue in a beautiful fashion, just like you. All right.
I want to make a request. If you've loved this and it's on your Facebook page and you have any friends that would benefit from getting their bios made more brilliant, will you share the video that just happened with as many people as you feel called to do? Because we can touch and transform our lives if we just let people know there are resources available to help them with this particular problem that happens to be in my wheelhouse.
That was beautiful. Yeah, share to be of service to people you care about as well. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Wow Wednesday. And it was a Wow Wednesday. Be sure to go to getknowngetpaid.com/brilliant bio WPN and sizzle it up. We'll see you later. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everyone.